Hey everybody, it's Jeff. I just wanted to get a quick video out. It's New Year's Day 2014, so Happy New Year's. Sorry for the poor video quality here. I'm just using my laptop's webcam as my normal video recorder is packed away from a trip, and I didn't want to have to go through trouble to pull that out. Just do a quick little video. Future videos will look and sound better. So anyway, sorry about that. I want to do a quick New Year's resolutions for the consoles and some members of the video game industry. 2013 was a good year for gaming, but I kind of felt like at times some of the hardware makers, some of the publishers, and even the media themselves kicked us around as gamers a little bit, and I think they can do better. And here's some of the ways I think in which how they can do that. So these are some resolutions, starting off with the Wii U. I think if the Wii U had a resolution for 2014, it should be clarity of message. Speak more clearly to us, Nintendo. Us hardcore gamers, we really know what the Wii U is about, we know what it can do, but the casual audience still has no idea. During the holiday shopping season, I probably heard multiple times just passing through stores, people asking whether or not the gamepad could just be used with their current Wii, or if they had to buy the other box. They just weren't really sure what it was all about. Over a year into launch, that can't be happening anymore. Nintendo's got to get out, explain the Wii U more clearly to the broad audience out there, and explain to them why they need to upgrade. People just don't know what's going on with it, and it's hurting the platform as a whole. So get better with that, Nintendo, and I think that the Wii U can start performing better overall. I've had family and friends that just didn't quite understand it, and sometimes I'm quite surprised, but I guess that's not really their fault. Moving on to the PlayStation 4, my resolution for them would just be to stay humble. It wasn't that long ago that the PlayStation 3 was just getting, kicked around by the Wii and the Xbox 360. When the PlayStation 3 launched, a week after launch, you could find consoles just sitting on store shelves. That hasn't been true with the PS4 at all. In fact, leading up to launch with the PS4 and in the weeks after, it's probably been enjoying the best PR that Sony has had across any of its divisions in half a decade at least. So hopefully Sony can stay grounded, keep doing what they're doing, keep focusing on the hardcore gamer, keep focusing on relationships with indie developers, and don't get back into that, well, we're Sony, of course everybody loves this attitude that they had going into the PS3 era, and really set them back for years. So if Sony can stay grounded, they're going to be much better for it. It'll be better for the gamers because they won't be putting up with an attitude like, we're lucky just to have Sony in our lives. So stay grounded, Sony. For the Xbox One, the resolution for 2014 would be 720p. I'm just kidding. Okay, so for the Xbox One, all jokes aside, there's a serious problem with Xbox right now, and my resolution that would probably help fix that the most would just be yourself, Microsoft. It's still unclear to even us as hardcore gamers what the Xbox One's primary focus is. Is it being a media box? Is it being a video streaming product? Is it something just to watch TV through? Or is it a video game console? Microsoft seems to have these executives that want it to be a media box, but they also have members of the Xbox team that want it to be a gaming box. Obviously, fans of the Xbox want it to be a gaming box. Whatever it's going to be, Microsoft, pick one and focus in on it. Having gaming as the secondary point of focus has given us a few issues at launch. Obviously, as compared to the PS4, it's a little underpowered. It's not like a major thing that's going to sink the console, but it's evident in the performance of the launch day games. Also, it's kind of frustrating that the console's UI, the dashboard, all that stuff is more friendly towards media, not so much towards gaming. Now, if that's by design, that's fine, but own up to it and be what you're going to be, Microsoft. I'm fine if this generation it's going to be where I play most of my games on PS4 and I consume most of my media through Xbox One. If that's what you're going for, be it. But if you want it to be a gaming box, you got to start acting like it. If Xbox is still primarily a gaming platform, you have to show us. So just figure out what you want to be and choose it and stick with it. No more going in between. My next one would be for video game publishers as a whole. And there's been a real love-hate relationship between gamers and the companies that publish the video games. And I think that for video game publishers, that their 2014 resolutions should simply be a better person. I'm tired of these abusive relationships between gamers and publishers. When we buy a product, we expect it to be a complete product. We expect it to be a functioning product. And any DLC or, add-on content should be just that, add-on or extra content. When we buy, anything from you after the launch of the game, it shouldn't be to complete the core experience of the game. We've got countless examples where, essentially we're being sold 80% of a game, and if we want the full experience, we need to pony up another $15 to $20 to get it. Or it's hidden behind such lengthy paywall, do this to unlock that progress crap, that essentially it's just not worth our time to see the whole game without paying extra. You got to stop this, publishers. Start shipping complete products. Stop shipping products that are not functioning fully. Heck, one of my favorite games of 2013, Battlefield 4, is still problematic. And it's way too long for that to be going into it. You need to ship us better products. And you know what? You do that, we're going to support you. You might be sick of us whining on Twitter, sick of us whining on forums and all that stuff. Well, we'll stop whining if you start giving us better products. And if you mess up, make it right with us. We could be a forgiving bunch, but don't just act like we're the problem. Because all we're trying to do is pay you to enjoy your product, and you're making that difficult. My final one would be for the gaming media. Now, I don't know. Sometimes I consider myself part of that, even though I've been a lot more casual with my writing lately. I haven't belonged to a major network for a couple of years now. But it doesn't mean I still don't have, connections and know what's going on in the industry from the media side of things. And for the gaming media, gaming journalists, gaming news sites, whatever you want to call yourself, you got to learn some independence. I'm really unhappy with the relationship that these major networks, I'm not going to name names, it's hard not to, without being able to talk about this without giving specific examples, but there's been way too much where these major video game outlets are cozying up to the publishers. We're getting the AAA games getting extremely good reviews, which is fine. If a reviewer loves the game, that's great, they love it. But they're totally neglecting to talk about the issues of the game. I wrote some stories about this, so if you want to kind of dig through some recent stories on Gamer Theory, you'll find them. But when Call of Duty Ghosts came out, nobody wanted to talk about how the maps were terrible. Nobody wanted to talk about how in multiplayer the spawn system was 100% broken. Nobody wanted to talk about how the weapons did too much damage, so it was a first see is first to kill type of situation. Nobody wanted to talk about that. Battlefield 4, which I mentioned previously, launched to critical acclaim, and yes, it's a wonderful game. It's one of the most fun games I've played in a long time, but its online is darn near broken. Some of the modes just don't work. You could not get into a conquest mode on the PlayStation 4 for weeks. XB1 I have it on both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, and I get disconnect issues on both of them. Not enough people are talking about this, and NBA 2K14 right now has been experiencing major outages, and it's not a major story. In fact, nobody's really talking about it. I noticed that Pasta Padre made a tweet about it, but that's about all I've seen. Gaming media, you've got to you got to grow some balls, and you need to call this out when it's there. Quit worrying about the publisher and how it's going to damage your relationship with them. Quit worrying about how the advertising team's going to get mad because you got mad at 2K because the NBA 2K14 is broken just because you have an advertising banner up right now. You know what? If they're going to play in this industry, they need to be able to handle criticism, and they need to stop, threatening the media for bad coverage. If bad coverage is warranted, they need to receive it, bottom line. Other than that, I think the gaming media is getting better. It's just that when they do fail, it's a lot more noticeable because so many people are on forums, so many people are on social media. So if you're sick of getting called out, gaming media, got to call out those who deserve it as well. Just like the game publishers, if you do right by us, we're not going to complain about it. And personally, I'm going to try and be a little bit better than that. I'm sure I've been overly lenient on some products. So I'm going to try and come in with more critical eye. Not cynical, just critical. And I think if we can do that, a relationship will improve with both readers, listeners, viewers, wherever your space is. For me personally, I guess I didn't even think about that, but for my resolutions for gaming, I am going to try and be more of a diligent player in completing games. Generally, if I'm reviewing a product, I'll complete it. But for a lot of the games I play casually, I might play 60-70% and leave it at that for a while and have a hard time getting back to it. So I think everybody kind of has that resolution, but I'm going to be serious about it. Get better at finishing my games. And then second, I just want to try and enjoy this industry more. I've really enjoyed the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Wii U. But, it's easy to kind of pick out the things that make you mad. And while there's things that justifiably should make you mad, it's way easier to call out those and talk about them than the things that make you really enjoy the hobby. And so I want to focus on those a bit more. And in 2014, I think my comments and my stories will lean a little bit more towards the positive. I do have a few more critical pieces that are about to publish, but I feel like they're well warranted. Other than that, look for kind of a happier, more upbeat Jeff Rivera in 2014 in video games coverage. Lastly, I'd like to thank everybody for their support in 2013. I know 2013 was our slowest year in regards to number of published stories. Some of my writers were really busy, and I respect that, and I'm really happy that they're taking care of the things they need to in life. I understand some of them will be coming back in 2014, so I'm really excited for that. But despite the slowed down flow of stories, it's been our biggest traffic year. We've been up in ad revenue, and it's been a great help, and it's been an encouraging thing for me, and it's really got me excited about going into 2014. I think that with these new consoles and with the closeouts of the last generation, we can have some great games, we can have some great times, and I'm hoping that that spills over into just a generally positive attitude in the industry in 2014. So everybody, thanks for watching, thanks for reading the stories on Gamer Theory, and I hope to see you around more. Hope you all have a safe and happy and healthy 2014.